So here we are looking down into a theater in ancient Greece. Not quite sure where we are yet. We just hiked to the top of the Acropolis, so we have awesome views of Athens. So I guess that's the sea way out there. One of the cool things is they still use all these theaters. As you can see, they're building a stage down there. Tour.
So this is the Parthenon. There's Taylor taking a look at it. It's quite momentous here. A couple tour guides giving tours as well.
There's like a relief in there.
Oh, let me get out of the sun.
The West Pediment here portrayed the competition.
There's some work, some scaffolding here. Keep it well maintained. It's quite large. And right back here is the ocean. You probably can't see it, but it's right over there. And he creates a spring of salt water. A symbol that if he was picked, the citizens of the city would be under his eternal. There's Taylor, say hi. We're overlooking from the side of the Parthenon. I'll show you in a minute. And here is the Mediterranean Sea out yonder. Beautiful vantage point over the city. The south side of Athens, I believe. Yeah. It's the Mediterranean Sea out there. And I'll do a 360, show you the Parthenon right behind us. Quite an impressive structure. And there's Taylor.
So here's the other side of the Parthenon. We're standing right underneath the big Greek flag. I was just telling Nate, I read that when Greece was under Nazi occupation, they ordered them to take down the flag, and the guy who was in charge of it wrapped himself in the flag and threw himself off the edge of the Acropolis to kill himself. It's pretty high. So there's the mountains over there. And there's some of the hills we're going to visit later. And this is all of Athens. You can see all the way around from this view to the sea. There's those columns of the women.
It's a very nice view from up here. We just saw the temple that was in honor of Athena, with the 5 women there in the corner. Of course, the Parthenon just behind again.
Yeah, that'd be great. So we're in the Acropolis Museum. Well, we're actually not even in it yet. There it is. But it was built above an ancient city. And you can see really pretty mosaic floors.
Oh, there's some of the floor right there, the
mosaic floors and other things. I don't know. But it's like you have to look down at your feet. There's Nate. Time to go in the museum. Oh wait, I think there must be more over here actually. Oh wow, whole city down there. So we're standing at the base of the giant theater. It's a temple of Dionysus. We're on the north slope of the Acropolis. And we just learned that Dionysus, in addition to being, you know, the god of wine and everything that we know, he was also the god of ecstatic dance and a few other things. And he had a lot of symbols, one of which included the phallus. So he was the god of the wine and ecstatic dance, and was symbolized by a phallus. Seems appropriate. Here's Nate. It's pretty hot, so we're resting under a tree for a second.
It's nice.
But yeah, his theater's pretty big. Much bigger than the other one we saw. But as you can see, it's kind of demolished. You can just see the steps, the rows. And the Parthenon's up there on the Acropolis. So here's up close in the Theater of Dionysus. The stage is right here. I'm looking back down, and Nate corrected me. We're actually on the south slope. So now we're on the site of the Olympian or the Zeus or something. This is a Roman bath, just for your perspective. That's the Acropolis. So we've moved a little bit further. What would it be? Southeast? Yeah, southeast. It's so hot out. I could really benefit by these Roman baths if they were actually filled with water, but they're not. So here's the main, walk down here, show you the main portion of this site, which is, no, I'm going to butcher his name, Hadrian's Gate. And as we were just reading, it was erected and then it got stopped, and the site was like construction halted when he was overthrown or something like that, and then it was redone. So there's some parts of Athens, tumbled columns, and there's the big columns. And there's Nate being a very smart Athenian, chilling in the shade, sort of. So now we're at the Olympic Stadium that was built in the late 1800s. It's over here, so you can see through the scaffolding. It's all set up right now because the Special Olympics are in town. So that's what's taking place. You can't really see the Acropolis from here. It's that direction. So I can't give you perspective, but we had to walk a little bit, which is why Nate is now sitting in the shade again. So we're at the Parliament building in Athens. Yeah, there's statues of old guys up there. And you can see that there's protests going around. And here's the signs from the protest. And I don't really know what's going on right here, but it looks like tourists, so hopefully it's not a protest. I have no clue what these signs say, but we saw one yesterday that said violence is always justified, like using it is not. It's an interesting take on it. So here's where a lot of the protesters are living across the street. They have tents set up down there in the square. But it's pretty peaceful since we've been here. I mean, there's definitely a heavy police presence. We saw big buses full of policemen yesterday. But overall, I don't feel that unsafe. Although we did see a lot of dumpsters with burned stuff. And when I asked a guy, a security guard, why the bank wasn't open, he said, it was broken into and burned. Just like, duh. So that was interesting. I don't know, hangman symbols or something. Is this anti? Oh, yeah. Wow, they have a spray paint of like their president. That's pretty cool. They designed a spray paint stencil of him. Interesting. Okay. Oh yeah, and all down this street, it's really pretty actually. They have these like fake chandeliers that light up at night all down, I can't remember if the street's like Atticus or something. It's a really cute little shop street. This is the Syntagma Square. So I forgot, they do the changing of the guard every hour. And that was why everyone was freaking out to get up here. Because we just looked at our watch, And it's 2 to the change of the hour, so I guess we happened to walk by at the right time. It is hot. I can't imagine being those guards in full uniforms in this heat and this sun. Man.
Feels nice. Okay.
So we're still waiting for changing the guard. Some more shots of Parliament Building.
Got one already.
And there's policemen definitely keeping us in line. I can't figure out what this thing is in front of me. It's like a guy prostrating himself over. I don't know.
Oh, they're coming through here. Here they are, Jerry.
Oh, here comes the changing the guard.
Take some way, please.
Apa, ti csak itt várjatok, mert itt lesz a lényeg. Ilyet még nem látom. A képeken biztos, de ahogy ezek is itt.
Just messing with him?
Nézd már abban, rendet van. Várjál már szólni, ez sem. Hát ennél sok. Majd amikor haladnak, nem csak hátul sasszízok, hanem így.
I think this is a dance I could do.
Ott kaparja el, amit csinál.
I wonder why they brought 3 guards to replace
Where's the other one going to go?
Yeah.
Hát erre nem nézsz. Messziről látom ezt.
Oh wow, yeah, he's shaking. I would be too.
It's fake, right?
Állóképességet idejtja?
Ez az ő víz.
Yeah, they need an escort.
Ilyen ebben a melegben. Igaza lett Marcinak a fonál, hogy gyorsan mozognának, nem lehetne jól fotózni. Várj, nézd le. Ezt nem látom. Hát erre nem. 100-es? 100-es. És nem elég, hogy itt fogod látni, hogy muszáj kitartani.
És ezt meg kellett csinálni, mikor jöttem.
Maybe we should. These guys are left over here. How do they get back? They can't just walk, right?
Nincs vége.
The guy left was telling them their orders, though.
Az is körül van így, hogy a koreai háborúban értek azok az elektrotőség. Igen, hát az Korea. Mindától több.
This is what's been going on here in Greece this past week. Luckily, right before we got here. Well, I mean, not luckily, but they shut down the airport for 2 days, so we wouldn't have been able to make it in. We're right across from the parliament. We just saw the changing of the guard.
Wait, but I want to take that train.
Here's Nate. Oh, IMF, International MFers. Lovely, okay. I think that smoke is not a real fire, it's just a It's a grill or something, because there's definitely joyful music. But this is the protest tent city thing going on.
Right in the middle of King George Palace, Hotel Grande.
Yeah. Okay, this is our room in Hotel Carolina. Our tiny little bathroom. And our decent-sized bed, actually. Tiny little closet. And tiny little balcony, which we're so happy we at least have something of a balcony. Nate's out here drinking his coffee.
On our spacious balcony.
Yeah.
You can see these buildings all up around me.
Not, I mean, the most amazing view, but we like it. Oh, and we have a cat.
Pet cat on the roof.
Our pet cat hangs out on the roof so we can watch him. He was out here yesterday.
There's all these balconies up behind
So yeah, everybody has balconies out here. We're on the 4th floor. We're at the ancient Agora, the center of ancient Athens. Most of what's left is obviously just ruins, although there's a church over there that was built, I think it was the 2nd century AD, or it was built on top of a 2nd century AD. It's always been a church, but it's not that old in terms of Greek time. But this is very well preserved. It's the best preserved temple of its kind.
In use until 1834.
Yeah, it was in use until 1834, and then until the 1930s as a museum. And it's quite large. And for perspective, the Acropolis. So now I'm on the northwest side of the Acropolis. So there's pretty gardens all down. You can see this is a pretty big place. I mean, nothing compared to the Temple of Zeus, the Parthenon, but hi Nate. This is the back of that really well-preserved temple, and in this frieze, I think, well, there's a centaur we know, and we saw a lot of things on the Parthenon depicting the battle of the centaurs and the Lapis, because I guess the centaurs were invited to the king of the Lapis wedding, and then they got a little drunk at the celebration and tried to get with the Lapith women, which made the Lapith men kind of mad, and they, of course, had to battle it out. Seems kind of similar to modern weddings. So this is the statue of the Emperor Hadrian, you know how to say his name, but he's the one that had the library that we saw the first day and the arch yesterday. And there's the view of the temple, and there's more temples down here that have fallen. So this is a monument to the eponymous heroes. They said that there used to be statues depicting all the tribes of Athens, the original tribes of Athens, along here. And at the ends, they would post decrees and public notices. And this is the Great Drain. It's running next to the West Road and all throughout the site. And Nate is a little obsessed with it. Don't know why he has an obsession with drains on this trip, but he just finds them fascinating.
So we are currently at an ancient cemetery, just down from Acropolis, which is right up there on the hill again. This is going out to Grandma and Grandpa Sargent for their love and works, life work in cemeteries. There's Taylor. It's a beautiful church right along the border of the cemetery.
So this cemetery was, I think, what did they say back? 5,000 to 6,000 BC. And some of the statues are really well preserved. And of course you can see the Acropolis over there.
Yep. Here, we'll take you over here so you can get one other angle.
It's amazing how well preserved these are.
It goes all the way down there. We're gonna walk it now.
So this is the road to Plato's Academy. We're standing still in the cemetery. Over there you can see the fortification wall. And here's a picture of when they did excavations in 1914 and 15. The skeletons they found while excavating this. Well, Nate's far ahead of me on his way to Plato's Academy, so go catch up.
Get him.
We're in the cemetery and we just came across a turtle. We saw one of these yesterday in the Botanic Gardens too. I can't remember what they're called, but they're a certain type of turtle we read a sign about. Notice. Yeah. And it has, on the back of it, see how it's like flat? It's pretty unique.
I want to pick him up.
Nate said he was cruising, but I guess I should
faster
have
than you.
taken it as just a turtle's pace. Not. Nate, don't bug the turtle. Nathan. Oh, you scared him.
Just when he thought everyone was dead here.
I know. He comes to a cemetery to get away from people that are alive.
Tapered shell. So we are currently at the top of the highest rock in Athens, basically. I forget the proper name for it. Do you remember?
Lycabetus, Betis, Lycabetus.
Lycabetus, something like that. And the Mediterranean Sea is straight out there. And you can see a 360-degree view of the city of Athens. Oh, there's a lot of wires right there.
Parliament building, the yellow, right there. And then you can see the Olympic Stadium and the Temple of Zeus.
And then there are hills/mountains in the background of the city. And that's Taylor up close.
So, our last night in Athens, and we happened upon a protest. Definitely just saw at least 5 to 10 police buses. And they have, they were in full riot gear. I got a picture of one of them, but I didn't want them to turn on me. So in front of the Parliament building, they had, you know, the big shields and nightclubs, and they had tear gas masks on. Here's Parliament. Here's the protest. So here's one of the guys that has like masks on and he's all ready to go. They have loudspeakers down below. They're yelling stuff in Greek. But everyone's pretty much just standing around waiting. Oh, that's cool. This hotel has actual torches lit. And you wonder why the protesters where they get their fire. I hear chants starting up back near Parliament. Okay, we're gonna head out. Notice all of the women that have a cute little pink air respirator on, and everyone's prepared for tear gas. Oops, stepped off the curb without looking. So we're gonna head out, but we'll see if this gets more interesting. I'm sure we'll hear it. Our hotel's not that far away. So they learned their lesson from last week's protests. I think these must have had glass in on these panels, and people have been eating out here all week, but they've moved all the tables inside. There's pictures of this is the area that was burned during the protests last week. You can see what used to have frames there.
Maybe check.
Okay, I really lied when I said we were leaving because it's just too interesting to leave. This is looking on Syntagma, the main Ermau Street. It's the main shopping street. We took a video from the opposite direction looking down the street the other day when there was none of these protests, but as you can see, there's just a lot of people out here. It's a little after 9 p.m.